We'll start with good news. Yes.
Yeah, of course, good news. Very good news, fantastic news. Nigeria's president, you said it already, but let's let the Nigerians know again. The Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has approved you could say, an increase of between 30% to 80% for armed forces personnel in a move expected to boost the troops' commitment and dedication to combat insecurity in Africa's most populous nation. About 250,000 Naira military personnel expected, did I say 2,000? I beg your pardon, 250,000 military personnel expected to benefit from this new raise as the new salary structure takes effect from September. Take note, September 1, 2026. The SSA to the President, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor, actually made the statement on X on Tuesday. Personnel from private to staff sergeant will receive an 80% increase. Officers from colonel down to warrant officer will get a 50% raise. We also heard there's 30% and so on. But let's look at it. That's what you have there on the screen. He said about 250,000 personnel are to benefit. He starts by saying the President has approved salary increases of between 30 and 80% for Nigeria's armed forces personnel. About 250 personnel to benefit from the new deal. Under the new arrangement, which becomes effective from September 1, officers above the mark colonel will enjoy a 30% salary increase. This applies to brigadier generals, major generals, lieutenant generals, and generals. Personnel from colonel down to warrant officer will have a 50% increase, while private to staff sergeant will have an 80% increase. The pay package will increase the yearly salary bill for the country's armed forces personnel from 660 billion to 924 billion naira. President Tinubu has always praised the courage and sacrifices of members of the armed forces as they confront the scourge of banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism in some parts of the country. The men and the women who help to keep us safe in our homes must be supported and appreciated in the course of their duties to our nation. Administration will continue to prioritize troop welfare and modernize the armed forces by providing the weapons and technological means that they do need to actually carry out their duties. Well, Binga, good news, I must say.
Yes, very, very good news and commendable move by Mr. President to move in the right direction. And I'm sure it's going to get a lot of plaudits from observers because we've talked about how stretched the Nigerian army has been, how the many of them paying the ultimate price and supreme price in the course of defending their fatherland. And the current salary structure, it's about 100,000 naira, so 50% is about 150,000 for the least ranked member of the armed forces, which is a private and a rating in the Navy, and airman in the Air Force. So with this new increment, we're looking at about 250,000, which is quite a decent salary. And then from the rank of colonel all the way to private, that's it's 50%, which is quite a lot. And even and I like the way it's been structured, because these are the fighting men. These are the men, the foot soldiers, the men in the front line who are in the front line against the war against insurgency. And many of them have been cut short. They've been maimed. They've lost a lot of comrades in the fight against insurgency. So it's only right that the government appreciate their duty and sacrifice to the nation by ordering this salary increment. And I'm sure it's going to go a long way in boosting troop morale and their commitment to, fighting, and also the recruitment drive for ordinary civilians that are interested in a career in the armed forces. I mean, if you get a job that offers you 250,000 naira base salary in current realities of Nigeria today, which is more than triple or quadruple at the minimum wage, I'm sure quite a lot of people will jump at it, looking at the multidimensional poverty in the country. So kudos to Mr. President, and I like that, it's not just an announcement. There's a timeline to it that come 1st of September 2026, it will be implemented. So it's a great way to start off the day.
Well, that's a good one too. So we're saying a good way to go, good way to start the show, good way to look at the improvement. Improved wages have always been called for. This also means that the Minister of Defense, who just last 2 weeks ago was saying that they're looking into it, they have to look at the welfare. I'm sure he'll be smiling right now knowing that, okay, it's about time where, of course, members...
And then the overall wage bill, I mean, for the spending for defense is...
Yeah, 900 something billion.
We're seeing that it's been pushed up from 660 to about 900 and something billion. Is it a price that is worth it, or is it something we can absorb as a country? I think, we can afford it.
We can afford it. We've been here many times. We've looked at the documents. We've seen where monies are being designated or prepared or kept for things like, the president himself, while he was talking to the cardinals, did say that he's also urging the governors that they might want to review looking into infrastructure alone. It's not about bridges. And that's the truth. And I know that we've said that here many times. You can't keep building bridges and people who are supposed to use these bridges are not alive or they are hungry.
Yeah.
Secondly, if he said that and he wants them to actually look into it, then it's high time they look into it. And I think, see, Winger, there's money. There is money, whether we like it or not.
And if you cut the waste and overall recurring expenditure on unnecessary things like buying of SUVs every few months or every year, because these cars don't expire, we would save a lot, and that money can be channeled into more productive venture.
We've always said that here, and we'll continue to say it here, that Nigeria doesn't, it's not that Nigeria doesn't have money. Nigeria just has we
have a spending problem.
A spending problem. Experts have joined us here. We've had experts from different parts of the country, outside of the country. They keep saying, listen, Nigeria, your priority is basically your conscience. Your priority is basically the major decisions that you need to take. What comes first? It's like saying we're building new roads. The old ones are in a deplorable state. They need to be fixed. Now, that's priority. If you can fix the old ones, get them into perfect shape and condition, then you can start thinking of alternatives. But if you're going for alternatives, abandoning the ones that are currently in use, it's making lives of our lives difficult.
It's quite irresponsible, to say the least, because you haven't finished focusing on the current one that are being used by millions of people, and they're groaning under the weight of the terrible road. They're losing productive man hours. People are losing lives. And then you decide that, no, let my priority be this other one I'm working on. It's not a good look at all. And that's what the presidential candidate of the People's Redemption Party, PRP, Mr. Donald Duke, former governor of Cross River State, I did emphasize yesterday in an interview that he feels it's a waste of resources talking about the coastal road. But the jury is out on that. You decide what you think. But let's look at what Nigerians are saying.
Yeah, let me start from YouTube. Mr. Johnson says, Benga called his surname as a true Yoruba man this morning.
I always do.
So good morning, Breakfast Central. That's what he says. Okay, let's take more. Moke Chukabeka says, good morning, Jack Benga. Good morning to you. Michael Zoo says, Benga, John Olive, we, your viewers, are not happy that once Tinubu's name is mentioned in a comment, you guys block it out for your info, and in case you don't know, we the voters are his employers. I don't understand.
Okay, when we edit or do some gatekeeping with regards to some comments, you can't make a disrespectful statement about
I get where it's coming
calling
from.
names and expect us to also use our mouth to. I mean, there's freedom of speech, but I mean, let's moderate our comments.
Yeah, it says, okay, we are voters. We voters are his employers, and employers of all elected and appointed office holders Therefore, they are servants and answerable to us on all official matters. Well, we agree. Yes, I mean, you put both the president and the officers who definitely are in office. We agree with that. But Binga has explained. I mean, your comments. Once we know that they are,
I mean, even if it's not, you're not addressing the president.
Yeah.
Any human being or any person, if you're going to make
you should.
ad hominem and insultive comments, you don't expect us to read it on TV. It's only we're guided by NBC code also.
Lillian Oloa says, "Good morning, NC crew. Olive Shakara is being escalated since that her birthday.
That birthday is a year-long celebration.
Please, we need our queen to always address us before the guys.
Yes, so.
Okay, you know what? The queen will start addressing you people. In short, queen. Okay, okay, all right. You see the queen very soon.
You take it like that.
Femi Olagunju says, "Good morning, News Central. Thanks for giving us updates on daily basis. Kudos. The new salary increase for military officers is a good one, but it should cut across all sectors like education," so says. And Binga also rightly mentioned that. "You guys are great. You're doing a good job. Is a coastal road a waste of resources before money that could have been used to fix internal roads?" he says. Well, I wouldn't say the coastal road is a waste of resources, whether you like it or not. I would say the coastal road was actually a very good one. Because if we look at the long-term benefits, I mean, it's cutting across different states, whatever we like it. So that's why it's called Lagos Calabar. That's the length in which it's going to go. It's going to cut across other states as well. It would enable, the benefits are humongous, but that's not what we're highlighting. While you highlight the benefits, I think we here have always mentioned there are other things that are not clear.
Yes, and even still talking of the same roads, is it a crime for the other roads to be in a motorable state? While you're fixing this Calabar
That's one.
road.
That's one. Two, Binga, we've talked about, was there environmental impact assessment?
The bidding process.
That was the first thing everybody asked for.
Single most expensive capital infrastructure project in the history of Nigeria.
Absolutely.
I mean, since the amalgamation of Nigeria, since Lord Lugard in 1914, it's the biggest.
The biggest.
And there's no open bidding process.
That is the second thing.
You award the contract to somebody who you've openly and publicly said is your friend, and you have some interest in this business. Is that not... Does it not raise questions about conflict of interest and
thank you. That's
so these are some of the issues that Nigerians are raising. But
I agree. And then there's more. And then there's more about the road. The road. They also looked at the impact it had on flooding.
Yes, the environmental impact. So and also, do you know the marshy areas in Epe? Because I follow it closely. There are some YouTubers that are doing a fantastic job in giving updates on the project, even more than the Ministry of Works itself. They fly drones, they tell us what chainage they're in. I believe the project is somewhere in Ogun State now. And do you know the amount of sand they have to do to compact and sand fill some areas before you even build? And it's a standard road because they have street lights, they have all of that, modern roads, and it's concrete.
By the way,
so imagine the cost. I mean, even the cost in dollars is staggering because it's going into billions of dollars. By
the way, let me mention the street lights on the coastal road. They might want to look into that as well. I don't know if it's.
What have you observed?
It doesn't last. It doesn't stay the brightness. It doesn't stay that long.
Yeah, maybe because it's the raining season. So when on days where you have high intensity of sun, yes, it's brighter. I've noticed that too.
But even
maybe that's the price you have to pay for renewable.
Even when
solar street lights.
But have you seen
that are not powered by the grid?
Benga, you're well traveled. I mean, you've seen renewable energy in other countries as well.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not, but come on.
Maybe, I mean, it's a valid argument. It's something you have to look into. So are you going to say on rainy days, safety would be somehow compromised because it's raining? Because I remember when the street lights used to be connected to the grid, they are
that's taking us backwards.
Yeah, and then I mean the cost of refilling.
Local government chairman did not give money for diesel. The power the gen. Come on.
Even in modern use of street lights, the LEDs and renewable energy, there should be something. There should be a sort of storage that doesn't allow the light to be dim on days.
We agree. We agree. But kudos, a good one. Nigerian military, well done. What we don't want to hear this morning is that when it's September, October will now see on the headlines.
We're still working on the modalities.
Oh my goodness.
Set up a committee to implement
it. Aye, please, no committee.
You can't raise the hopes of people and then dash it.
Or we hear that in November, military officers cry. I'm trying to create a headline. You know those basic headlines.
That salary,
military officers.
Increment has not been implemented. Or they want to attach it to 2027 budget to start on a fresh note. But God forbid that will happen. I'm sure.
Please.
I mean, for them to have made this announcement. And we're not just asking, I mean, Joe didn't raise this just out of the blue or from his pocket. It's because of antecedents that we've witnessed in the past, policy reversals and things like that. That's
absolutely.
Why, Nigerians are somehow skeptical. Even when there's good news, they take it with a pinch of salt.
Absolutely. It's just a case of trust. But let's move away from that good news to this one, likely tension. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, on Tuesday, formally received Commissioner Police Elections, Samuel Etaifo, ahead of the Osun governorship polls, with a newly deployed officer assuring that the police will provide impartial, professional, and adequate security before, during, and after the exercise. Governor Adeleke welcomed the deployment, but raised concerns over the reinstatement of CP Ibrahim Gota, whom his campaign accused of harassment and intimidation in the past, while also condemning recent arrests of political figures and warning that perceived bias in policing could undermine voter confidence, stressing that the Inspector General of Police must reassure Osun residents that their votes will be protected and the election conducted peacefully in line with the Electoral Act. Let's just take a look at this clip.
We have with us DCP Bayo Suleiman, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, in charge of investigation department. And the last but not the least, the reason why we're here, CP election, Osun State, Everly Samuel Etaifo, PSC, MNIPS, CP election, Osun State.
Okay, there you have it. The new Commissioner of Police for Osun elections received by Governor Jackson Ademola Adeleke ahead of the highly anticipated August 15th gubernatorial elections. All eyes are on Osun State. So Nigerians are wondering if the deployment of this new Commissioner of Police to the states would
focus on elections.
Tensions. Yes.
To just focus on elections, you know. That's what it said. Binga, the new one, the former one has not been redeployed out of the state. He's still there. So the governor is saying, but why? If someone has been touted, I mean, allegedly, and for some, they said it's proven that he's been carrying out his duty not in a professional manner, the police has its code, and the expectations are that he's going to be redeployed away completely. The question now is, since he hasn't been redeployed, does he still have an impact on the process? It's a question.
And what's his new role exactly?
Yeah, they said he's just taking care of, you know, other, like a way. The new CP is CP4, focus on elections. That's another question I want to ask. Do you bring in a CP to just look at elections? The question is, after the elections, are you going to replace the other one back? These are clear,
and
we need clarification.
What message are you sending about professionalism if there's a CP that has been appointed way before the elections and then you change him because of elections? Are you trying to say that he's not competent enough to superintend over the elections, or you have question marks over his professionalism? These are mixed signals that that move is sending. And then if you redeploy a new CP, what's the point of allowing the immediate past CP to remain in the state.
That's another
You're
question.
going to relieve him of his appointment. So, I mean, lots of question marks there. And
But then
it's the police authorities that will be in the position to explain their moves and this appointment, because it's their purview.
But then again, we must also give kudos to the Inspector General of Police for listening. We've seen where there are times where we even saw more serious cases, more calls were made by either citizens or governors that, oh, this person isn't doing too well, this particular CP or this particular police officer, and it falls on deaf ears. Action, we don't see action. But what I've noticed with the current IG, if you notice, there's a trend. Whenever we talk about something here, whenever a video is on X, whenever people are able to capture police officers engaging in nefarious acts, it takes 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, and the next thing we hear is they've been apprehended. They've been apprehended. The only thing we're going to ask the IG of police to do, I mean, I must say he's doing a fantastic job, is let's have a closure. I'm always after closures. I don't know why. I feel closures put pen to paper and shut the door completely. And like I always say, it forms the precedence of what will happen in the future.
Absolutely.
We can always refer to it and reference and say, like the 4 police officers who took the ICPC chairman and told him, withdraw 53,000 plus. Okay, pay for the charges too. And they shared the money. Yes, we saw their pictures, their images were made known to the public, but we need a presser that says, listen, this is an update. And that would also help us to say, okay, this has been closed. Another person who's been caught, just like that. But so far, so good. I mean, it's looking good. We didn't see what Nigerians are saying in the previous story, that had to do with our first story about the increase in the
increase.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I think we should go back to see what Nigerians are saying on X with that before we come back to see what Nigerians are saying on X on the Osun elections. Few days to go. So let's start off first with what Nigerians are saying with our previous story. Then we come back to look at what Nigerians are saying on the Osun election story. Remember, it's 10 days to go to the all-important election in Osun State. And questions are rising. People are talking. Factions are also springing up left, right, and center. Let's know if our producers have that. Let's go straight on X. Let's see what Nigerians are saying.
Molima Idimato, PhD, says, a very commendable gesture from Mr. President. That's talking about the announcement of salary increment to members of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Ashwaju Said Olawale says, this is one of the biggest good news Nigerians have been expecting from Mr. President. Thank you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for making the welfare of our security forces your priority. Osumba Khashoggi says this salary increase couldn't have come at a better time at a period where the military had been decimating bandits and terrorists. It will further boost the morale of our troops. Congratulations to the military and kudos to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Saiba Ozo says members of the military and intelligence apparatus should not serve more than 10 years without the capacity to own their own houses or car.
Oh, that would be so sweet.
T-Visual says, I guess this is a sign to enlist in the military. And I did mention this in my opening statement. That it would encourage people to join the military, at least.
I mean, if you know that entry, it's just like banks, Benga. You know that your entry level is no longer, is now 250. It comes with accommodation. Because the military guys need to rest their heads. If you see all of that, another thing I'm also going to ask is that, I mean, what I like to know, the military has one of the best hospitals.
And then, I mean, it's a professional career. And you're allowed to follow, to go for degree courses, and they're members of the military that are educated up to PhD level. So if you think you can always explore a career in the military. And now that the salary has been increased, it would encourage more Nigerians to enlist.
But have you also thought about this? I mean, this morning we're going retro. I like what we're doing. We're looking retrospective, like introspectively. Now that you highlighted that, and I like that because that's the truth. If the salary of the military is 250 in quotes as an entry, more people will enroll.
Yeah.
Employment struggles that the current administration has been battling with. You'll be able to say, okay, we've been able to get XYZ people to enroll, not just the military. Like many have said, I heard that there's a meeting with the resident doctors and the Association of Medical Practitioners. You have that meeting as well, review that. If the salaries are indeed good, implement that, because questions that we have always asked is, if you say we're making more money from subsidy removal, the question has always been, Benga, where is the money going to? Where are they going to? If you put it in these sectors, you put it in the medical field, the healthcare, education, let's even say healthcare, you say, okay, resident doctors, you name them, everybody has a fair review of salaries. Not 70,000 can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, that's why it's called a livable wage. Money that would put your head above.
Exactly. If a livable wage is like 250, guess what? Those who are planning to say, let me jackpot, let me even go to a neighboring African country, will sit back and say, okay, let's look at it. You look into education as well. Education, they've been crying for the past decades. Solve that. I think instead of purchasing new cars for the lawmakers, because it's 4 years after, the cars they've been using, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see why new cars should also still be in the budget. Or
agencies and parastatals, unnecessary budget line budgets on line items on the budget. We will save a lot if we do tighten our belts. And tightening of belts should not only be for Nigerians. The government needs to lead by example.
They have to. They have to look into that as well. But that's a good one. Let's see what Nigerians are saying concerning the Osun state elections. Don't forget, 10 days to go, and everywhere is heating up. Good enough, we did see the new CP there meeting with the governor and assuring him that all will be well. But what are you saying? What are Nigerians saying about the situation? Forget it. These police are biased and aligned to the APC. Are you sure? With what I saw today at Odeon, with the police using their trucks to carry APC supporters. Really? Did you record it? That is all you need to know about the election. The federal government is complicit too. That's one. Let's see another one. The sitting posture of the CP get as Ibisha Benga. You see comments? You know go salute ke. And then let's see. Okay, all right. Those are the comments we're going to take this morning on Breakfast Central. Going back to YouTube, 80% of 490,000 is 39,200, which brings it to 88,200. What happened to the? Your calculations are indeed out of this world. You try to break it down nicely. Nigerian Police Department just have to put many things in place, because Osun case shows clearly that governors are never the CSOs of their own state. Maybe that's until they move the new policing bill from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. We'll get to see what will happen.
When you have state policing, does it mean that state governors will now use the state police apparatus for their own bidding when it comes to election situations?
That's why we talked about did we talk about that yesterday on Wake Up? The SSA to the President, Bayo Onanuga, stating that they're going to have a tour.
Oh, yes, there's going to be.
We talked about that, did we?
No.
We didn't. Okay, well, that was supposed to make our Wake Up conversation. Yeah, they're going to have a tour across CSO, civil service organizations, Nigerians. Everybody should have an input into the police bill, the new police bill. That's why they need to develop a framework. If there's no framework, it simply means that anybody or any governor will choose to use the state police as they like.
That's why they're doing this roadshow, to allow Nigerians contribute, and they'll take feedback back to Mr. President, reject the bill, and then look before it's passed. But I guess this is all we can take on Wake Up Conversations this morning.